serve you some pie, but you know, again, don't strike me as a nighttime
Tonight on The Dive, author, anchor, photographer Diana Pierce, and a special appearance by Julie Davitt. Your table is ready, and your server Colleen will be right with you.
Hey, I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for coming again. So, my name's Colleen. I'm going to be your waitress tonight, like I am anytime you show up here, because this is my place, The Dive. And the reason why we started this place is because we wanted to get back to real conversations, the kind of conversations that happen over a counter. Could be random conversations, could be intentional conversations, but it doesn't really matter, does it? As long as it's just fun. That's what I think, anyway. I don't know. This is the second time out since I've opened the diner here in my mom's basement. And I don't know, I looked at last week's show, you know, and I just recently, I dyed my hair gray because I was running about like, 20% gray. And I thought, oh, maybe I can just be done. Maybe I can just be done dyeing it. I dyed it even over the pandemic. Nobody was looking at me. I stopped wearing makeup during the pandemic, but I still continued to dye my hair, which I don't know. Does it matter? I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be one of those broads that gives up. You know what I mean? But also, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have as much upkeep, right? And I guess, I don't know, I've just always, what's on my mind is style. Like, I've struggled with my sense of style and how I present myself to the world out there. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's just what's on my mind tonight. Oh. Hi!
Hey, glad you're open.
Yeah, I'm so glad you found this place.
Yeah, it's hard to find, but you know what? I'm thirsty. Do you have anything?
I do.
No coffee.
No.
Herbal tea.
Right.
You got that?
Okay. Yeah, I do. I've got some. Look at that. Right here.
Perfect.
So, do you frequent basement diners a lot?
You know, I'm sneaky about that. Yeah. So
All
whenever
right.
possible, but I like to walk around the block. I like to see things in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Saw that you
So
were
you're sort of
open.
an investigator.
Yeah, on occasion. Yeah,
Okay.
I like to see what's in people's yards. Yeah, I do. It's just fun. There's a lot of Halloween stuff around here, so
Yeah.
it's just fun to walk by.
Yeah, it's Halloween town.
Yeah.
It's Halloween town. Well, that's some good stuff. You want
Ooh,
some
that
pie?
smells great.
Thank you.
Oh, let's take it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. You don't strike me as a nighttime pie eater, but we'll just serve you up some anyway, and we'll see how that goes.
That is hot.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. That's
but
all
you know,
good.
'tis the season. You look well. Anyway, well, can I ask you a question, gal to gal?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
What do you think about the gray hair?
I like it.
Do you?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I just did it.
Yeah.
And I did it with a box dye. I'm a terrible person. I always do it with a box dye. But I don't really have like a I don't know if it conveys a sense of style or anything like that. Do you know? I mean,
It can be very in, you know. It's very in.
is it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but maybe I'm a little bit later for that ironic gray hair. It's not like it's more believable gray hair than it is ironic.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I haven't moved into that category yet myself. You know, because
You're lucky.
Well, no, because the person who cuts my hair says you're about 50% there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm not buying it yet.
Okay. Yeah, well, it looks great.
Well,
It looks great.
knock on wood.
Yeah.
On wood.
So,
Oh, that looks good too.
yeah, thank you. What do you do?
I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Right now,
That
photography. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you take pictures of?
Flowers. I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Started out a couple of years ago doing landscape.
Okay.
And then a couple of years ago, I took a picture of a thing that was on my deck, put that on my Facebook page, and my Facebook page blew up. And I'm like, there must be something there. So then I decided I needed to investigate it a little, took a few more pictures, and then I started to win things with my pictures, which is fabulous. And got into the Minnesota State Fair this year with one of my images. So there was 1,000, a lot of people.
In the Fine Arts Building?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It was very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some stiff competition.
Yeah. So I'm very happy that I got in there. So, and it sold.
Hey.
Yeah.
How do you decide how much something like that is?
It's
so hard.
Yeah, I ask friends. They kind of.
How much would you buy this for?
Yeah. I mean, not those friends, professional photographer friends.
All right.
Yeah, and so, and I'll ask them if it's a particular size. What are you going to charge it for? And so, typically, it's whatever you paid to get it printed, mounted, framed. You have to have it framed. You have to have a wire across the back for photos. And then you start to have, well, what's your time and what's your time worth to you into it? So, yeah.
That's where it gets hard.
Yeah.
I used to do stand-up comedy.
Oh,
And people
I
would say,
thought that's where I recognized you from.
I know. And then I went out to LA and I tried to make something happen and it kind of happened. And then it didn't. And then I came back here and then I tried to make another thing happen and then it didn't happen. And I had to move. This is my mom's house. And so I had to move back to my mom's house and I started this diner.
Well, I kind of like what you did with it. I mean,
I got, the tools and stuff back there, but for me, this is about like
a rake. Use a rake in the diner, and a sword.
It's it's a basement.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're gonna have you're gonna have a few things in the basement that are just basementy.
Well, okay.
It's enough to have the service issue. Oh hi,
Colleen, dear, I'm so embarrassed. You haven't even introduced. We've got a celebrity in our midst, and I don't think you realize that. She's a celebrity and an anchor woman. This Pat Miles.
Yeah.
Pat, no. What's your?
Well, Diana Pierce.
Oh,
what? I worked with Pat.
Well, I thought you were dead.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I do have my moments on that.
But you look lovely. And so you're into flowers these days.
Yes.
Well, isn't that exciting?
Did you hear us talking?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
eavesdropping.
Oh, okay. That's
so,
good.
Are you sort of inspired by human body parts like Georgia O'Keeffe, that sort of art?
Well, I like her art a lot.
It's a little racing.
Oh, well, but I can't figure out how to make my flower parts quite that racy. But, I'll
maybe
keep
you should
trying.
try a different gender.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Cattails or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
I do have pictures of cattails. They're abstract.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Very.
Anyway, this is very exciting.
Thanks for...
And, I understand that your hair is trend. None of my friends understand, though. They don't understand trend a lot, actually.
I mean, I don't know. Is it?
You know what else is on trend?
Betsy?
Brown lipstick. Hot chocolate is what they're looking for.
Uh-huh.
What do you think? You can try it?
Well,
It's from the 90s.
no.
Yeah. You know, whatever.
No, there are some.
It goes around, doesn't it?
It
Whatever
does.
Stuff
was-
leaves and
Actually,
it
that
comes
was sort
back.
of in the 80s,
Yeah.
to tell you the truth.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I wore brown lipstick back then.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your
It was
favorite
quite hideous.
style? What was your favorite style that you ever
My favorite
adopted?
style. Oh my gosh, there's been so many through the years.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. When I was in high school, I was with a singing group. And so we moved to Hollywood. And so I don't typically talk about it too much, but we moved to Hollywood. And so we were doing bell bottoms and we recorded on the set of Sonny and Cher.
Oh my God.
And so we saw these big heads in the background. This is for real. This is a real story. And but we also recorded this television show that was for Catherine Kuhlman, and she was a faith healer. And so the group I was with, we were singing hymns
You
at the time.
believe in miracles?
Yes, exactly. You know her. And so, but she shot her show on the set of Sonny and Cher, so it couldn't have been more bizarre.
I feel bad. You want to sit down?
Yeah. Are you okay? Would
I
you
can
like
get
this?
you a chair,
No,
Mom.
no, you.
Here.
Well, maybe
we're
just for a moment. I understand I'm sort of interrupting
No,
your
that's
little,
okay. You
that's
can be
okay.
right
your
here.
little show.
No,
It's okay.
I
Anyway,
can. You guys
So,
seem to be,
yeah, we're
doing
doing
your thing.
bell bottoms. And
Would
stuff
you like
that.
tea or anything, Mom?
I'm fine.
You're okay?
Oh,
This is
speaking
really
of
good.
trend, though, dear,
Yes.
as you can see, I'm definitely wearing something very fashionable and on trend.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. And
No,
I like to
you
call
are.
it Salvation Armani.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. There's so many young women though. They're
Well-
going to the thrift stores, and that's what they're wearing to high school.
Well, I bought this and it was a pretty penny, I'll have you know that.
Was it?
Yeah, that Magnolia Pearl crap, it's not cheap.
Oh, okay.
And, but I was going to wear it for my 54th high school class reunion. Don't ask me
Yes.
why 54. But anyway, I was
Well-
showing it. I put this on. I was showing it off to my friend Charlotte.
Charlotte.
You know, Charlotte.
She's the one that doesn't like my hair.
And she didn't like this either. She started laughing at me. She thought it was a joke. And I went, no, I'm going to wear this. It's pretty. It's trendy. And she said, well, Julie, you can't wear that. You got paint all over it. And I was like, well, that's the fashion, dear. It's
Exactly.
on trend. And well, most of the people in your class are not going to be trendy. They're going to think you're a slob.
That's the only style I was ever
One
able
does have to be careful about that when you're my age.
I know. Any age. Although in the 90s, the only style that I was ever able to pull off was grunge.
What? Not you
'Cause
did
it was
shoulder
easy.
pads? You
It
didn't
was
do
just-
any-
I did shoulder pads, but I'm a broad-shouldered lady,
Yeah.
so it just doesn't. The shoulder pads, I used to have to cut them out.
Oh my gosh. I
And
had to
then
add
people would be
more.
You're slim-shouldered.
Well, but there was one picture, sitting on the set, and I looked like a linebacker. I mean, I had so much coming off the side here. The only thing missing was the
Was
spaceship
it the
to go in.
80s? So that was the 80s. I mean, you have big hair then too, right?
Well, yep,
To kind of like balance everything out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had one thing that I did with my hair once that was probably the wrong thing to do.
Okay.
All right. So this is when I worked at a television station in Norfolk, Virginia. And I have kind of naturally curly hair.
Yeah.
And I got a permanent. And so my hair was down to my shoulders and then permed. And so I kind of look like Carole King.
Ooh.
I like
Not
Carole
quite. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Or
But it's
Carole
kind of a
King, for
little-
that matter.
A little folksy for the news.
It was.
Right,
It
right.
was. But
You gotta like.
yeah. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
one of those things where I've seen pictures of me going,
You have
wow,
to be
girl, you
professional.
needed to step back away.
What about you, Mom? Any fashion faux pas?
Oh,
That you would rather not
I
have
am
gone
queen
into?
of the faux pas.
Yeah.
Hmm
What happened?
I'm from the family, the flying faux pas.
Okay.
Yeah. When it comes to fashion.
Are we related?
Maybe.
I was your California cousin.
Oh,
I think.
I've done several errors, I'm afraid, but didn't fly
Anyone stick
quite
out?
the way I thought it was going to. But I think it's important to develop your own style, and maybe your own style is ugly.
Diana's doing so you're not like on TV all the time.
Not anymore.
You used to be like every day.
Yeah, every day.
And then but
for
now
32
you're doing
plus years. Yeah, here in
yeah.
this market. That was a long time.
That is a very long time.
Yeah, and it wasn't my first job either.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So that is like you know what it's like to convey style and to or at least be professional, like at least be calm and put together, I guess. I mean, did you have like a makeup artist and everything?
Yes, thank goodness
Okay.
we did.
All
we
right.
did.
It was.
And Pat Miles brought her over from Channel
Yeah.
4.
I was going to say you were Channel 5, were you not?
Yeah.
No.
Keep going up the dial to Channel 11.
11.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, there used to be
Silly
3
me.
channels.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she was on one of the 3 channels. That's what
Well,
I
no.
remember.
Yeah.
So
Not
you're
the
doing
bajillion.
photography now, though.
I am. Sure. And once in a
Flowers.
while you'll see me on Anderson window spots, which is really funny too. But there you go. We have Anderson windows.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I mean, they are
There's that.
the window.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, that's how they sell houses now. They say new Anderson windows.
Yes.
When you buy a house, that's what happened to me.
yeah.
Say, Colleen,
Yeah.
permission to show our faces?
Sure.
Okay, hi. Oh, hi, Diana. Hi.
Uh,
This is us. We're here in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Do you mind? I have a special request if it's not too much. to
Not at
ask.
all.
Will you look? I have a camera a teapot over there, and if you look directly into it and say,
Here.
Oh.
"Good evening. This is Diana Pierce. Oh, you're so awesome."
Okay. All right. You gonna look into that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
You
All right.
Here we go.
Yeah. Do it.
3, 2. Good evening. I'm Diana Pierce. Here's tonight's news.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Wasn't that something?
That is.
Wasn't that?
That's awesome.
It does kind of make me wonder, though. Did it a long time.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all
You're
good.
happy with what you're doing now?
I'm very happy with what I'm doing now. And part of that is I'm doing my own assignments. And one of
Yeah.
the things that I miss now that I'm not, that I'm retired from KARE,
Sure.
is I miss the people I work with
Yeah.
because they were fabulous. But what I get to do now is I'm self-assigned. One of our other photographers talked about this not too long ago because he too is self-assigned. But we choose what we want to do because we have the ability to do that in retirement.
Yeah.
And so that's why this whole thing has come about with my Blooming newsletter comes out every 2 weeks. And
How do I get a copy of that?
I thank you for asking. You go to dianapiercephotography.com and at the very top of the page, you'll see a subscribe button to it. And then you'll just, all we'll do is take your email address and doesn't cost you anything. It's free, comes out every 2 weeks, but I give you, behind the scenes on stuff. So one of the ones that I had
Out of Petunia?
well, but dahlias, chrysanthemums, all kinds of things, but the last 2 articles I just did was, ever heard of the Minnesota tip?
Yeah, that's vaguely familiar. I'm old.
Okay. Do you know what it is?
No.
Okay.
Explain.
Okay. It's what we do in Minnesota to help save our roses. And so the Duluth, up in Duluth, there's the Minnesota Rose Garden up in Duluth, and they have about 3,000 roses up there, but they don't have to tip all of them. They only have to tip about 975 of them, which means they dig a little grave, a little trench next to the ones that need to survive. And so then they're wrapped up with an orange twine. They dig up the roots a little bit. They tip them over. They recover them and then leave that little twine on the surface so they can find them again in the spring. And they do this with all the volunteers in Duluth that want to work on that garden. And so then in a couple of weeks, like right now, they will ask people that are raking their leaves to bring their bags of leaves down to the rose garden, and they will cover the entire acreage of that with all of these bagged leaves. It creates almost a little baggie of like a comforter of sorts. Anyway, that's how they're going to survive the winter up there because
Well, this is fascinating. Did you have any idea?
No, I didn't have any idea, but
See,
you know,
I was afraid of looking foolish and stupid, so I didn't want to say I have no idea what she's
the
talking
thing
about.
about that is you just keep asking questions.
yeah,
And then,
yeah,
And you
there's-
know what? I'm in the middle of doing laundry,
Oh, okay,
and the dryer is screaming
Oh,
for
is
me.
it? Okay.
And so I'll leave you with my
Thanks,
daughter
Ma.
to
All
Thank
right.
to fish more info from you.
Oh, I know.
Try to
I
get
know.
blackmail material.
Are you? Well, good luck on that.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure to meet
Oh,
you.
so nice to meet you too.
thanks, Ma. You okay?
Yes.
All
You
right.
need any help here?
Oh, she's got
No,
it.
but Colleen can help me fold later.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Ma.
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
she is really nice. Letting me
I
do
know.
this
She's a
down here. but
lovely person.
She is.
Very lovely.
She is.
Yeah,
We've had our times. We've had our moments,
And
like
don't-
all mothers and daughters.
that's right.
But
That's right.
yeah, she's got my back. And that's what I know. You know, the bottom line is.
Yeah.
So, why flowers?
Excellent question. Well, part of that is it was kicked off with this response on Facebook, and then I had a friend of mine who's dear friend, and she just says, "I think you're onto something." And so I thought that was an interesting observation. I don't have a garden myself. I'm in a condo. I have a brick patio,
Right.
and then I do plant the planters with salvia,
Mhm.
so that our hummingbirds will come. We have pictures of hummingbirds. It's
Oh,
really
that's
cute.
nice.
And then the other part of that is that the more I started researching things and the more I would put on Facebook, I kept getting more questions from people. It's like, I didn't know that, tell me more, or something like that. And so then I started to create these little, scenarios with a picture that would talk about it. So one of the things I was able to find out is that, do you know much about Cleopatra?
I know a little,
little?
actually. I know a little bit about everything.
Okay.
Just a tiny bit.
That's kind of me. It's a little
Okay.
scary, isn't
All
it?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little scary
Yeah.
because, when my mom once said,
I knew that she rolled herself up in a rug to seduce some dude.
Okay, well,
You know
this,
that one?
Yeah, I think I do, but this could have preceded that.
Okay.
Okay, so she knew that Mark Anthony was coming to visit, and she knew that she wanted to romance or have him romance her. So she filled up her barge on the Nile, and it was supposedly about 6 feet deep with rose petals. Can you imagine how many people she must have had picking those rose
Yeah, it
petals
was
to
like
fill
she
up
didn't
her
do
barge?
that.
No, she didn't do that.
She didn't do that.
Guaranteed, she didn't
No,
do that.
she didn't do that.
But you could smell it all around, like just all over the place. And so he was so impressed, Mark Anthony, when he showed up and got onto that barge. I don't think she had to worry too much about doing too much
No.
after that.
God, it's so easy to get laid now. I
Well,
really take that for granted.
I know you don't have a barge with lots of rose petals.
don't
in
need to. I just gotta. You up?
it. Hey, you wanna? Yeah.
Oh, hey,
Oh, look
we
at
got
that.
a to-go order.
Oh,
First-time viewer, long-time fan, officially
Oh, so
obsessed
nice.
with the show. Oh,
isn't that nice?
Aw.
Oh, I know.
thank you, Elizabeth.
Nice.
Thank you, Elizabeth. There we go. That's so sweet. So yeah, so flowers, but then there's kind of a double entendre too, because your newsletter is called Blooming,
Right.
right? And
Right.
it's sort of about like,
Right. Blossoming wasn't going to do it for me.
yeah,
Bloom was not enough.
yeah,
I wanted to kind of put it in, that future tense. Blooming. It's blooming. So,
yeah, it's
you know,
happening.
yeah. So whatever topic kind of fits into that, I'm able to kind of figure out stuff that's happening during the seasons. I had a state fair judge that I interviewed, and she was
Do you
fabulous.
think that's what helped you get into the show?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
she was a state fair flower judge,
Oh, okay.
not a fine art judge.
All right. I'm
No,
just,
flower judge. Sandy Schrock is her name. She works for Len Bush Roses out in
Sandy,
Plymouth.
what?
Schrock. Isn't that a great Minnesota name?
It is. It's
It
better than
is.
Barb Butzler.
Well, oh, I don't know, but Sandy's fabulous. When you see Sandy, Sandy always has her hair dyed purple.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, or at least
We're a purple
all.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark hair underneath, but purple across the top. And I think she looks like a flower. And so she's traveled the world as an international flower judge. And we've got her in Minnesota. So she actually has arranged, to do stuff for Minnesota professional florists. And so they come down. And are you familiar with the show? It's
The big flower fight?
No, the chef special where they have like their time. They're given a
Yes.
thing. Okay. That's what they do for these professionals. They give them, they narrow down the field to about 6 contestants. It's done on the dirt stage at the state fair. And so then she takes
At
them-
our state fair?
Yes. Isn't this, this is
I didn't know.
you should,
Our state fair contains multitudes.
yes.
It does.
It does.
It like every year there's like
She's
stuff
been-
that has been, it's been going on for years.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she takes the microphone. She does play-by-play on the professionals up there. They're each given a bucket of flowers, at all the same flowers, and then they have a half hour to create and design a flower arrangement. Is that not awesome?
So she's a color commentator for
Yeah.
floral arrangers.
Yes.
I used to be a color commentator for Battling Robots. You remember when Battling Robots were a thing?
Yeah.
I used to. I did it at the state fair, and I used to say, "All of the violence, none of the guilt. Nobody dies. They just get rebuilt."
Oh, very good. Very good.
Thank you. I'm not much of a sports person, but I really did like the Battling
Okay.
Robots,
All right.
and I like the fashion for that too, because it was like a lot of kind of gothy,
Kinda cool?
gothy type stuff.
Oh,
But I would
absolutely.
put it on, but it's more like, I'm a poser in every genre.
Oh, okay.
I am a poser in every genre except pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
That is like pajamas or grunge. That's me,
Uh-huh.
and everything else is drag.
Okay.
Right? Everything else is just a put on, because I have never been able to officially be put together. Be a person that was always put together.
Yeah, you're put together now.
Well, I got a uniform. Like, that's the only
Yeah.
other thing too. Like, having a uniform is a great thing.
Yeah, but you got your real name there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's not real. Yours is though. That's
Mine
good.
always is. There was
Yeah.
one time I worked at this place called the E-Diner. Do you remember the E-Diner?
Oh yeah, sure.
I worked at the E-Diner, and it was, I originally started at Mickey's Dining Car.
Oh yeah.
Right downtown
I have a
St.
great
Paul.
picture of that.
And it still affects me to this day, and I'm so grateful that it got another to-go order here.
No, very nice.
Can you please top off my coffee, dear? Yes, I can.
Oh.
Yes, I can.
Not mine.
We'll do a virtual one.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I worked at the diner, and I thought, well, it's kind of a fake diner.
Oh.
It's not like a real diner. It's like trying to be Mickey's, but it's not even trying to be Mickey's. It's
Yeah.
trying to be like the clean version of Mickey's, And we all had fake names like Dot and Betty and Veronica. And I got to the bottom of the bag. They said, pick a name. And my name was Ethel.
High-end. It was a high-end diner.
Yeah, you've got the words,
it?
Mom. I don't
My
have it.
ex-husband worked at the E-Diner.
Did he?
Did he really?
His
Yeah.
fake name was Bud.
Yeah.
Light? Bud Light?
No, they couldn't pronounce his real name.
Oh.
Welsh name.
Oh.
Bedweir.
That was the guy after Dad died, right? I was already out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Something like, you had kind of a wild time there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on my 4th.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the
You're just
4th is gone too.
You're a Black Widow, aren't you?
I wear them out, don't I, Diane?
Oh my gosh.
I poop them out.
You just grab them by the neck and just shake them a little bit and drag them around the house, and then out they go.
They just go, enough is enough.
So,
They just can't take it anymore. They just, boom, they're gone.
have you ever had a guy, okay, we're going to talk about dude style.
Oh,
Have you ever had a guy and their style was, they always say, men are visual creatures, blah, 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 and that's just maybe, I don't know.
Oh,
But, you know, have you ever had a guy and then you meet him in a professional environment and they might have had a uniform on, or maybe you met them and they were a cop or a Boy Scout, whatever the hell, they've got a uniform
military.
on.
Yeah.
Military, whatever.
Yeah.
And military would be the right age. But so Scoutmaster.
Yeah.
So
Too weird.
what?
Moving on.
I'm sorry, but and then you see them, they ask you out, and you meet them, and you're like, oh no, right? I went out on a date with a guy. He was so hot. He worked at this bookstore, and he had to wear like the whole polo and tan pants and a name tag. I am part of the name tag army. I am not, you know, my heart is open to anyone with a name tag.
I had to wear 11 pen for many years.
Yes.
Another
yes,
man
the
I
same
haven't
thing.
met.
It's branding, right?
Yeah.
And it is who you are, and it is not who you are at the same time. And so I think I met this guy. I met him at Red Lobster. It was like fancy.
high-end.
It was super high end. He was, and I drank.
And he was good looking?
I drank Blue Nun wine.
Oh, he got better looking.
I
Okay.
drank remember Blue Nun wine, and I walked in there, and I'm so judgmental, and he had on all black, and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. And then we had the Blue Nun wine and blah 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 blah, and then we were gonna go to a second location, which is always dangerous when you go to a second location. We were gonna go to a second location. He was like, it was cold out, and he stands up. And he very dramatically whips a cloak around his shoulders, and it was like a magician's cloak.
You have the red lining on it.
With a tricorn hat on it, and had a big feather.
Wow.
It was like a feather that like stuck out.
What did you do?
Well, I slept with him. I mean, I didn't. I had to say that. I had more wine. No, I'm sorry, Mom. I had to. It was the line. But
I need to hear about your boinky dumps.
No, I mean that.
Well, listen to you. You were the one that's asking me about the pictures, the flower pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking her, not her.
It's different when it's your kin.
Yeah.
But
You know what I like, dear? I like
What?
it when you see someone really fancy and they do something stupid that blows the whole image. I love. Don't you
know
love
what?
that?
There's so many people who do that.
I know.
Can
Well,
I
I
tell
was
you-
walking behind the sky, and
Yeah.
it was winter, and it was very icy, and I had my walker, and I was having so much trouble. Anyway, he was dressed to the nines. I was very impressed.
Okay.
You know, the tweed winter coat and the shiny, Italian. They must have been Italian shoes, leather bottomed. You know.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, now there's an executive. Now that's the kind of man I could go for. And as soon as I had that thought, the man slipped on the ice, fell down, his briefcase went flying, and all his limbs were sprawled out. He looked like a black lab on linoleum.
Oh, poor thing.
I know.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. I fell in front of Al.
Yeah, I went to the rescue.
Yeah,
Just take a hold of my walker.
Yeah, that's right.
Hold yourself up, dear.
Oh, too funny.
We had an ice storm, and I fell on the ice in front of Al Franken. And he laughed at me. He didn't try to help me up. But I thought that was awesome,
Well,
actually. I just laid there and laughed with him.
Well, what can you do?
Right. If he had tried to help me, he would have fallen too.
Yeah.
It was actually
Oh,
an ice
yeah.
storm where, like, they had stopped the bus service
Mm-hmm.
because it was that bad.
Oh,
It was
sure.
that bad. I got a fashion mishap for you.
Oh,
First
good.
time I was ever on TV, I was going to be on Comedy Central for a show with Mo Gaffney from
Oh, I love her.
from the Kathy and Mo show, Kathy and Jimmy and Mo Gaffney. But Mo Gaffney had this talk show on Comedy Central for like a half second, and I was going to be one of the guests. And at the time, I was a barista at this place called Bar X Espresso downtown Minneapolis, and it was owned by two gay men, and one was like, it was like Good Cop, Bad Cop, only like Mr. Bitchy and Mr. Nice, you know, and that's how it was. And I was their only employee, right? And Mr. Bitchy he used to call me Cinderella. He'd say, Cinderella! and then he would ask me to do more, or tell me to do more stuff and everything. And at the time, I was so poor, I only had one dress that I wore to my stand-up shows. Just one. It was a nice dress. It looked good on me. That was it.
All we could afford.
That's right. That's right. Well, you were paying for my
I
clothes
was
at that
between
time.
husbands.
You weren't paying for my clothes at that time. I was paying for my own clothes.
Oh,
And it was like this one dress. And I wore this dress for like more than a year. Every single show, which I was doing a lot of shows at the time. And so Mr. Bitchy says to me, he was like, what are you going to wear? And I said, well, my dress. And he goes, no. And he took me out shopping. We went to Dayton's.
Ooh.
And money,
room? Yeah.
money was no object.
Ooh,
Yeah.
He bought me.
No, remember that?
I do.
He bought me the most beautiful, beautiful dress. And he bought me shoes. He bought me everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was possibly one of the most unexpected, nicest things.
Good to have a sugar daddy.
Well,
Yeah,
and he
I was gonna
just
say,
like,
That's a good tramp
I mean,
daughter.
it was unexpected from him. And then so in this back in the day, you know, it's like in the early 90s when getting a videotape was a big deal. The videotape comes FedEx, you know, rip the envelope open like you used to rip the envelope, you know, the zip tie on the envelope. We get out. They were having me over for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Mr. Nice and Mr. Bitchy, and we're gonna have dinner together and watch my national TV debut, because I thought the show went great, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, like, you do your stand-up bit and it's great, and then you go over and sit on the panel. I'd never sat on a panel before, and here's what I found out, and I also found this out last week too. When I listen to people, I tend to listen with my mouth open. Much like Barney Fife, when Barney is listening to Andy say anything. And I kind of like, somebody saying something. So Mo Gaffney's talking and I'm like this. So I'm in this elegant dress. I'm in this beautiful, elegant dress. And I'm also not sitting with my knees together.
Oh.
However, my
well.
thigh fat prevented me from being a Sharon Stone
Oh,
moment on that. So
Yeah.
thankful thigh fat saves us yet again. Yeah. What?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. I thought I heard
I-
something from the
he
kitchen.
was smacking his
Yeah,
lips.
he
at me.
was.
I'm just hearing the mug. I got a little startled.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's right. It's back in the kitchen. They got to do their thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's all about individual style, isn't it?
Is it?
Do you know who I absolutely adored? Iris Appel. Was that her name? I
Oh,
believe so.
Iris Apfel, the
Yeah.
lady with the glass.
In the
had
90s.
great style.
She just died. Well, she wore things that was like, talk about cumbersome.
Well, yeah. She wore layers.
I could wear it, but I couldn't move.
Yeah. She wore layers.
She
It's
yeah,
very
did
colorful.
But she was wonderful. And this model, Carmen Del Orifice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
She's amazing. She's like
Yeah.
95 years old and she's still strutting the runways.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she looks fabulous in gray hair.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, she does.
that's her.
Well,
She's
so
got
I
the
have a
bump
little
there.
bit of a story about her.
Okay.
I never met her, but you know, she's famously said that she does say that she had, you know, facelift and, you know, a few other things going on, because she said if you're a homeowner, wouldn't you replace the roof if it was leaking? Wouldn't you work on the porch if there was something there that you wanted to have? She goes, you do that for your house. Why wouldn't you do that for yourself?
I agree.
Yeah, I
I
totally
thought
agree
that
I
was
too.
agree.
really interesting.
However, I was just talking. So you've seen Madonna,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Recently.
That's where you need to step away from
Ugh.
whatever it
there's
is
a whole
that she's doing.
there's a psychological thing that happens, and I think it was an interview with Keith Richards where he said, you know, I've been famous since I was 17 years old. So effectively, you know, because even something good can be traumatic in your life.
Yeah, but Keith Richards
Right?
doesn't look like Madonna.
No, but like he was saying, like my mental age
Right.
stopped
Closer to
at
ET.
17
Mm-hmm.
because this bomb went off in my life, this
Right.
fame bomb,
Right.
and I became super famous. And in my head, I just stayed 17 because that's where it stopped. And that's what that like kind of blew my mind, because I was like, that's what happened to Madonna or any of the other great beauties who are just trying to recreate that moment when
You're talking about me now.
you know, when the thing happened, when you know, and so they're like trying to create that, and they'll never be able to
Well,
create
it's true.
That's why
I find it charming. All these little old ladies marching around, my age, and they're over rouged and over lipsticked.
They can't see that well anymore.
And there's that.
Yeah.
And they are kind of like Baby Jane walking around, but I find it rather endearing. It's sort of like they're doing what they can to,
They're keeping their house fixed up.
Yeah,
you know who I thought did a good
little
job of
extra
that?
putty.
Barbara Eden did a good job.
Oh, she did.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was super, and who is continuing to do a good job of the high glam
In her 90s, she looks fabulous.
with is Joan, what's her face?
You're not
Sister
gonna
was
say
an author.
Collins.
Yeah, Joan Collins. She's doing a good job of the high glam big makeup deal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a tramp.
Well, since when did that matter?
Jane Fonda looks
Jane
fabulous.
Fonda looks fabulous.
Jane Fonda does
She
look
does.
fabulous, and she did
And
that.
she's got beautiful style, let me tell you. She
She
knows
does.
how to costume herself, doesn't she?
She does.
She did this thing on the Frankie and whatever show.
Right, yeah.
And
Right.
she's standing there, and there was a scene where she's 82, and something got on her foot, and she takes her foot and puts it into the kitchen sink, and I just went, God damn it,
Well,
I'm so out of shape.
she is she's
Like 82
she
years old.
works at it.
I know.
She's always
You
worked
mean
at
that's
it.
what I got to do is work at
You
it?
gotta work
Well,
at
not
it.
necessarily.
It was a
That Time
trick.
Master didn't do much for Suzanne Summers, so.
Well, I kept her going. It paid the bills for quite some time.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
Just
I
saying.
need
Yeah.
I need a gimmick.
You need a gimmick?
I need a gimmick. I need an exercise gimmick.
I don't know what that would be.
I thought I'd always do an exercise program called The Least You Can Do.
I think that's a wonderful
That's a great
idea.
title.
You should sell it, and it should be part of this show.
Yes.
You
yes.
should do a promo for it.
The least you can do.
Yes, absolutely.
Exercise with
Do you know how
me.
many people would sign up for that program?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's a
What are you
fabulous
waiting
idea.
for?
It wouldn't be effective.
It doesn't matter. They would still pay money for it because they're trying to do something to help themselves. It's the least they can do.
That's what we're doing back here.
Yeah. How's it going in the kitchen there?
Oh, just getting the fries ready.
Thanks.
Cut to camera.
You know, I should have a show Among the Ruins.
Ooh.
Well, they've
Isn't that
had
profound?
Between Two Ferns. Why not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
It's in the basement.
yeah,
Why not?
yeah.
So I
Zach Galifianakis had that.
Oh,
one.
yes?
Yes, he did. Between Two Ferns and Fernwood. But that was different.
Fernwood Tonight?
Yes.
That's what this whole thing is kind of based on.
Well, you know, that was a fabulous show. So keep it going because we need that.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
There's so many,
Oh, Colleen,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of my daughter.
she's
Although
saying that 'cause
earlier
you're here
today, you might want to know, I saw a mouse
in the
in the later,
basement.
so hide the donuts, dear.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
All right.
They
Well,
don't eat much.
she's not
Yeah.
eating her pie,
Check
so
the
that's
pie.
okay.
Yeah. They don't, well,
Pie's
there's
totally
that.
fine.
Yeah.
The tea is hermetically.
They're also not roaches. Those are, Mrs. Beers, those are not roaches. Those are reanimated box elder bugs.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to let you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
got them all
That's-
paranoid.
That's good.
I'm not too worried, one way or the other.
Sounds good.
Yeah. You know, when you're out there shooting pictures of flowers, you come across critters every so often.
I just bet you do.
You do.
And some of them are standing on two legs.
They are. Are you following me around?
What's the
I
weirdest
can just imagine.
Wildlife mishap you've had?
Wildlife mishap. Oh, okay. So this is a couple of years ago. This is when we were doing landscape photography. Yeah. Pay attention.
Okay.
And so we're in North Dakota,
Uh-huh.
and we are at Theodore Roosevelt National Park. And so right next to the park, there is a little pull out there, and there's an overlook. And so Scott and I decide that we're going to walk down the trail. We're going to take a little selfie and the whole thing. And he's walking in front of me kind of through some gorp, otherwise known as bushes, you know, that type of thing. And I hear, and I stop and I look at him and I realize it's a rattlesnake I cannot see because I am up to my knees in whatever this stuff is. And I just said, Audie, you don't come back this way. You might want to take a couple of steps out of wherever you are and go the opposite direction, which I did besides. I backtracked so quickly, I couldn't move quick enough to get back over to where the path was. And so we got back over the path, and so we start to go back up towards the car. And the next thing I hear is a second one going,
They followed you?
no, it was a second snake.
Oh.
It was,
it's a
it
family.
was the time of day that they were coming out. And it's like,
Oh,
you
it
know
was
what? I
mating
can
time.
deal with a lot of stuff. This one where I can't see it, I'm not liking this one at all. I couldn't run the car fast enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's worse than Friday the 13th.
I was thinking that
Yeah.
here I thought that snakes followed people, but they don't.
They don't. They
No.
don't. No, you got to be in the. You got to be next to them in their realm. I
No,
mean,
they
like,
just get pissed off real easy.
I think he may have stepped on the first one. I don't know, but it was enough where it just like, as I'm standing there listening to it, I'm going, that sounds an awful lot like a steam release valve. And then the more I stood there and go, I'm nowhere near anything that could be a steam release.
Would you think it was a hole in a sex doll or something?
No, not there. But the more I listened to it, it just, my eyes got really big. It's like, there's a rattlesnake that I'm standing next to, and I don't want to be here.
Oh.
Yep. So
Okay.
that if you ever want to get your heart pumping, just go ahead and do that.
I can't bear snakes. I mean, I think they're very cute. You see them on the internet and you think,
on the backside of a glass,
that's
they're okay.
neat.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
not in person. I saw a garter snake at Lebanon Park.
Oh, no, not that.
I know. Well, are you? I lost my mind, and it's a garter snake, and then like two little kids
Yeah.
picked it up.
I
Yeah, I
remember
can
garter
handle that
snakes.
one.
No,
Yeah.
we used to play
That's
with
not the
garter
rattlesnake.
snakes.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Yes, and
Yeah.
salamanders and
Yeah.
Oh.
all kinds of creepy crawlies.
Well, now you're from California,
Yeah.
so snakes are kind of like they're out there.
There are there where I grew up in Central California is really at the foothills of Sequoia National Park. So it's just a little bit south of Yosemite. And so I would go stay at my girlfriend's house that was just kind of up the road from where we lived. And rattlesnakes would come and sun on their front porch.
Of
So-
course they did.
Because we would then have to make sure that when we got up in the morning to make sure there was any visitors on the front porch where her house was. And then a little bit farther up was then where the scorpions lived. And so they actually had scorpion crossing signs on the main road to let you know that there would be scorpions there.
Well, what
Just
are
in
you
case
supposed to
wanted
do,
get out
dodge
and
them?
walk around. Nope, they got run over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Oh man!
I know, isn't that
Colleen,
fun?
dear, I should probably get to the folding of my clothes,
All right.
and my bony ass hurts.
Okay. All right, Mom. Thanks.
All
Thanks
right. Well,
coming
thanks for
back.
I
coming
couldn't
back
help.
and
I
saying-
had to
Between-
jump back in
Yeah,
again.
it's okay.
I'm just so enthralled.
Oh, stay around a little bit longer. I'll unenthrall you.
Thanks, Ma. It might be closing time. Coming
I
up
think
here
it is. I
soon,
think I'm
yeah.
kind of looking at my watch. I got to get going here. I got dental work to be done. So
Really?
at this time of night, can you imagine that?
That's is it like some kind of back
It-
woods dentist.
Well, if I can find this basement dive,
Yeah.
I can find that as well.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah,
Will you come back sometime?
I will.
I would like that.
Yeah, I have
All
more
right.
tea and another piece of pie.
Thanks.
All right. Thank
All right.
you. All right.
Your ride's here.
Oh, okay.
Thanks,
All right.
Ma.
Handsome too.
Is he?
All right.
Well, I haven't seen one of those in a while, so I'm happy about that.
That was nice. So what did we learn today? Nothing.